Hello and welcome to the Motivation Mob podcast. I am your host, MW.
Hey, Motivation Mob, MW here. Fear. Everybody feels fear. It is exceedingly rare for somebody to not experience fear at any level in their lives. Exceedingly rare. Everybody feels fear. Elon Musk famously said that he feels fear very strongly. So if you feel as though fear is something that you feel very strongly, you are in the same boat as Elon Musk. The thing though is, he does not let fear be the basis of his decisions. He does not allow fear to make his decisions for him in the same way that most people allow fear to choose their lives for them. They allow fear to take control of their lives. Everybody feels fear, but nobody feels fear in the same way as you do. There's a reason for that. You are especially unique. You are exceedingly unique. All of the experiences that you have had in your entire life so far, nobody else has had exactly those experiences. And the experiences you have had have caused you to form certain beliefs. And the beliefs that you have are unique as well, because the experiences that gave birth to these beliefs are unique to you. Nobody else has had your experiences. Therefore, nobody can have the same exact beliefs, because your beliefs are derived from the experiences you've had. So your beliefs are different. They're unique. Nobody believes the things that you believe. And for you to be afraid of something, for you to feel fear, you have to have a belief that results in that fear being formed, that fear being felt. So, because your past is unique to you, because your experiences are unique to you, and because the experiences that are unique to you created beliefs that are just as unique, the fears that you have will be unique to you, and the ways in which you feel fear, again, will be very unique to you. Nobody feels fear in the same way that you feel fear. Nobody is afraid of the things that you are afraid of, because nobody has your beliefs. But listen, there is one fear that everybody has. There is one fear that is universal. There is one fear that is the mother of all fears. Well, I say that, but this fear is the source of 90 or 95% of all of your fears. What is this fear? Fear of the unknown. The fear of the unknown is the basis of 95% of all fears. Now, I don't have any hard science to back up the 95%. It could be a lot higher than that. It could be that all fears are the basis of the fear of uncertainty, or rather, it could be that the fear of the uncertainty, the unknown, is the basis of all fear. It could be less than the 95% I've just said. But what's the reason for me saying that? Just think of it. Look into your own life. What are you afraid of? The biggest fear out there. The biggest fear out there is the fear of public speaking. The fear of public speaking is the biggest fear out there. Now, if you are afraid of public speaking, if you have that fear, what is the reason for that? What specifically is it about public speaking that causes you to feel that fear? Could it be perhaps that there is the possibility of your public speaking engagement or your public speaking experience going catastrophically wrong and you making some sort of mistake and people laughing at you, you being embarrassed because of that? Is it then possible that the mere potential of things going wrong highlights the fact that you do not know whether if you go up in front of a bunch of people, you will do well or you will not do well? Is it therefore correct to say that it is the uncertainty, it is the unknown that causes you to feel that fear? Now, if I tell you to stand in front of a bunch of people and talk about quantum physics, that could quite potentially cause you to feel some sort of anxiety if you know nothing about quantum physics, or if you know very little about quantum physics. Now, if I tell you to speak 10 minutes straight, 10 minutes non-stop about quantum physics and you know nothing about it, there is a high potential for failure. And you would feel anxious at the prospect of failure. So, if you have the fear of failure, what is the actual fear you have? Is the fear of failure the fear of the unknown? If you are afraid of speaking for 10 minutes non-stop about a subject you know very little about, what is it really you are afraid of? If you fail, then what? What is it about failing that makes you feel fearful? Is it potentially that by failing, something else would happen? Is it correct to say that when you fail, the repercussions, the fallout from that failure has a lot of uncertainty? Is it perhaps correct to say that if you failed, you do not know what would happen after that? Would it make it easier to say, speak for 10 minutes, stand up in front of a bunch of people you don't know, speak for 10 minutes about a subject you know very little about, and if you fail, it doesn't matter. Everybody will clap and everybody will be excited for you for having gone up there and done your best, and everybody will congratulate you, and everybody, if you know what the outcome is going to be and it is a positive outcome. If I tell you, go up there, speak for 10 minutes, if you completely botch it up, if you completely get it wrong, I'll give you $1 million. How does that change that fear that you have of failing? Does it change it at all? If there's the potential for you to gain $1 million, it gives you a bit of certainty, right? If you fail at doing that, the unknown becomes smaller. The bigger the unknown, the more fear you will feel. But if I tell you, I'll give you $1 million if you completely get it wrong, it makes you focus a little more on the known outcome of failing. Would you still have that fear of failing in this instance? So, if you say no, if your fear of failure changes when the outcome becomes a little more certain, then you do not have a fear of failure per se. It is a fear of the unknown consequence of failure. A fear of the unknown. If you have a fear of spiders, if you have a fear of flying, if you have a fear of death, is it that you are afraid of spiders? Is it that you are afraid of flying? Is it that you are afraid of dying? Or is it that you do not know what the outcome will be when you handle a spider? It could potentially be a venomous spider that bites you and you could die from that. Or you could suffer some injury, permanent injury, a permanent physical injury. If you have a fear of flying, is it that you are afraid of flying itself, or is it the uncertainty? Is it the unknown that you are afraid of? You don't know if that particular flight will make it to the destination, or if some catastrophic event will happen. If you are afraid of dying, is it the dying you are afraid of? Or is it that you do not know what comes after dying? If you knew for certain that once you died, you went to heaven, or you came back, you were reincarnated. If you knew that for dead certain, how does that change your fear of dying? Does it mean then that you don't have a fear of dying? You have a fear of the unknown. The unknown is the basis of most fears. We are afraid of what we do not know. And here's the thing, here's the kicker. As much as we know as a collective human race, as much knowledge as we have gathered over the millennia, there is more that we do not know than what we actually know. What we know is but just a tip of the iceberg. Not even the tip of the iceberg. It is a tip upon the tip of the iceberg, compared to what we do not know. Let's put it this way. What we know collectively as the human race. If what we know was one needle's worth, what we do not know is the entire haystack. The entire haystack in a field full of haystacks. What we know is insignificant, insignificantly small. Yet, in spite of the fact that we know very little, as much as we know very little, we are afraid of what we do not know. We are afraid of almost everything, in other words, because what we know is so minute. What we know is like a bucket of water. If you drop a bucket of water in the ocean, what good is that? The ocean is vast. And one bucket is so minute that making a comparison is pointless. But yet we are afraid of what we do not know. Are you afraid of what you do not know? Are you afraid of the unknown? It's a fear that everybody has. But uncertainty is good. If you learn to accept uncertainty, if you learn to accept the risk that no matter what you do, things could turn out very bad. But things could also turn out very good. When you accept the fact that there is more you do not know than what you already know. When you accept the fact that what you are afraid of is what you do not know, you give yourself a bit of power. You empower yourself ever so slightly. The best way to overcome the fear of the unknown is to constantly face the unknown. To constantly come face to face with the things that you do not understand, that you do not know, that make you uncomfortable. They say, the treasure you seek lies in the cave you fear to enter. You have a brilliant idea. You've been praying for $1 million and you have $1 million idea. And then you are afraid to pursue that idea because you are afraid of failing. But it's not the fact that you are afraid of failing, it is the fact that you are afraid of the uncertainty. You are afraid of the unknown. You are afraid of the potential of being hurt. But no matter what you do in life, no matter how careful you are, there will always be a time when things go wrong. It is inevitable. Let me ask you a question. Is it better to play it safe and not tempt fate? To play it safe. And when things go wrong, well, they go wrong. You played it safe, you'd be in trouble. Potentially things might not go wrong, but you played it safe. Whatever. You're in a safe place. You're in your comfort zone. Alternatively, you don't play it safe. You face that fear. You face that unknown and you do what needs to be done. You do what you are uncomfortable doing. You become friends with being uncomfortable. You become friends with uncertainty and you go after that $1 million idea. You go after that $1 million business. You start it up and you make that $1 million. When things go wrong and you've made that $1 million, you didn't play it safe. You refused to play it safe. You went out there and faced discomfort. You went out there and danced with the possibility of pain. You flirted with that risk. When things go wrong, after you've done all of that, would you wish you had played it safe? Let me ask this in a slightly different way. If you play it safe, and if you give it 100% and decide to be uncomfortable, Either way, things will inevitably go wrong in some way. After things have gone wrong, what would you have learned from playing it safe? What would you have learned from not playing it safe and being uncomfortable? What would you gain from playing it safe? What would you gain from going out there and doing what needs to be done, getting what you want out of life? But by playing it safe, you don't really gain much. But by risking it all, by facing fear, by facing that uncertainty, that unknown that needs to be faced, by walking into that cave, despite the fact that you do not know what manner of beast awaits you in that cave. If you fail, you will learn the lessons that you need to bring you back up exactly where you want to be. If you make $1 million and you lose all of it, you know how to make $1 million because you've done it before. And that makes it so much easier for you to go out and make that $1 million again. But if you play it safe, and it hits the fan, when you play it safe and the poop hits the fan, and the poop will hit the fan. Remember 2008? Do you remember 2008? A lot of people played it safe. A lot of people got burned. A lot of good people got hurt. Some of them are still trying to recover 10 years later. Some of them have not recovered from 2008. But those who decided to go out of their way, those who decided not to play it safe, those who threw caution to the wind, those who put in that work, those who took the risk, they're better off today than they were in 2008. Because they learned valuable lessons that they would not have learned by playing it safe. They learned lessons they will carry with them forever. Do not play it safe. Playing it safe is not smart. Playing it safe, that's what's going to hurt you. When the poop hits the fan, and you've been playing it safe, you're going to get mouthfuls of it. And it won't be nice. Do not let the unknown scare you. The unknown is the unknown. The best that you can do, the best that I can do, the best that anybody can do is to give everything 100% effort. That's the best we can do. What more can you ask for? So go out there. Start making things happen.